Hello everyone, welcome back once again. In this video we will look at desktop application design using the blend for Visual Studio 2019. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. So Blend for Visual Studio helps you design XAML-based Windows and Web applications. It provides the same basic XAML design experience as Visual Studio and adds visual designers for advanced tasks such as animations and behaviors. So let's get to it then. So to get started, we have to make sure that we've got desktop application development with .NET enabled with Visual Studio. But we can check this by actually going to Tools and clicking on the Get Tools and Features. So once we've got the Visual Studio installer opened, then we got to make sure that we have this bit. We scroll down. See, we've got to make sure that we've got this bit checked. .NET Desktop Development. So this will actually install the WPF Windows Forms console applications using the C# Visual Basic and the rest of the .NET languages. So make sure you check this bit here, download and install it before we get on to the next stage. So I'm just going to close this bit now. So once we've actually sorted that bit out, then we can go ahead and, because once you add the desktop development with .NET, then you get automatically installed Blend for Visual Studio as before. So what we would do next is actually try to create a project from the Visual Studio and transition it to a blend inside, and then do the design inside a blend. So what I'm going to do now is create a new application or a new project. So while we're creating the new project, I'm just going to explain this briefly. So the blend for Visual Studio is a component of Visual Studio. So basically, as I said earlier on, to install it here, you got to make sure that you either install the Universal Windows Platform developments or the desktop developments with .NET Framework or .NET Core. So once you've got that bit sorted out, then we can actually get to it properly. So as you can see here, I've got all languages, so we can actually select C# language, and then we've got this bit here. We have actually selected a desktop. So as you can see here, we've got a desktop here, and the platforms is not necessarily important. Yeah, so what we do next is actually create a new WPF application or UWP application. So we're just going to go on this bit here, click next, just the usual way of creating a new application. So you can configure your project details here, and then we move on. We click on the create. This might take a while, so I'm just going to pause it while the whole thing loads. So as you can see now, we've got a very simple blank WPF application created for us inside the Visual Studio. So since we're going to be using a blend, to transition this project into a blend, we can right click on one of the XAML, and then inside here we can, as you can see, design in blend. So we click on the design in blend and it will actually open a blend. So as you can see now, we've got the blend for Visual Studio opened, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the usual Visual Studio, but actually you get more properties inside this bit here. So we look at the tools panel. Yeah, so you can use the tools panel in Blend for Visual Studio to create and modify objects in your application. The tools panel appears on this left hand side here. So here you can use this for a direct selection and nothing selected. So this bit is nothing selected, so selection V. So here, so this bit here, you can have access to selection tools. That's the one I've just showed them. The view tools, the brush tools, object tools, and asset tools. So if you can see this bit here, we've got assets here. So I will explain briefly what the brush tools, the object tools, and view tools and whatnot, what they really do. So the view tools are just the view of the artboard, such as panning or zooming. The brush tools work with the visual attributes of an object, such as transforming a brush or applying a gradient. So as you can see, gradient tools, the paint bucket, the eyedropper, and whatnot, yeah. And then we've got the object tools. So draw the most common objects on the artboard, such as paths, shapes, layouts, panels, text, and controls. Then we've got the asset tools. Access to the assets windows and show the most recently used assets from the library. So the asset window. So that's the one that I've just opened here. So the asset window contains all the available controls and is similar to the toolbox in a Visual Studio. In addition to the control, you find everything you can add to your artboard in the assets window, including styles, media, behaviors, effects. So basically, to open the assets, so as you can see, we click on this assets window. So we've got, see the control, styles, behavior, shapes, effects, media, and categories. So here you can get all the necessary stuff. And then this bit here, we've got the designer here, and then we've got the XAML code. Yeah. So once you click on this grid here, so as you can see, we get all the properties showing on this right hand side here. So here you can change a lot of things that you want, like the background color. So here you can see you can choose whatever color that you want for the background of the application. You can either use a solid color brush or a gradient, or you can use a tile brush or an image, or the brush resources. That could be an image, something like that, right? So as you can see, as I changed the color, the background color is being reflected straight inside the code. So if I make changes, so as you can see, it's being changed. So we can also easily add controls to our grid by just dragging and dropping. So we can just say, you can drag it here as usual, and here we can make changes to the size. So you can use the up, down, left, right arrow to move the button. So you can move it to the right with the right arrow, left with the left arrow, the up with the up arrow, and then down with the down arrow. Also, you can easily change the color and the attributes by clicking on the object. So as you can see, if you've clicked on the object here, so it's a type button, and then the name is not, it hasn't got a name. We can change it to, we can just say login button. So we've actually got a given name for the button, yeah. And we can actually go as far as changing the background. So as you can see, we can change the background to something like blue. So as you can see, you can easily make changes to it, or we can change the foreground as well. We can make it white. So as you can see, this actually makes the design very, very seamless and very effortless, right? So with this the blend here, you actually concentrate on just the UI development or the design of the UI, but you can also transition straight away to the Visual Studio. Let's make go to the file, and we could say save all. So what I'm just gonna minimize it here. So once we click on this bit here, so as you can see, we've got the changes reflected straight away inside our Visual Studio. So you can actually transition between Visual Studio and Blend effortlessly in terms of designing and developing the application. So you can actually separate both the design and the development aspect of your application very seamlessly. So what I'm going to do is just leave you here for now, right? So you could go ahead and build on what I've actually shown you right now, and build on your knowledge. And hopefully I'll catch you up on the next video. But once again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. And have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Stay blessed and stay in peace. Bye bye.